Testing 1 2. Testing. So how's everybody doing this morning? Hopefully pretty good. It's Sunday. It is the 18th of May already. Holy crap. What's happening to time? I hope everybody had a good night last night. I did. Yeah. Making some jams. Today, check. Today we're going to talk about note-chord relationships, and hopefully it'll be stuff that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, I thought I would start with, you know, how I make techno all the time. So if you're familiar with the channel, yeah, we make techno, we kind of jam out, meaning me and anyone who joins the channel. Yeah, and tackling things like note-chord relationships is what we're going to do today. And let's see. If you're wondering what that means when I say note-chord relationships, in techno music, sometimes you play one sound as like the root note, and then other times you're going to play your adjacent sounds as other notes that make up parts of the chord. And today I'm going to show you that example. This might be something that you're like, well, I understood that already. Or Joseph, you kind of were alluding to that a couple days ago. There's a chance that I do allude to this, but I'm going to say the obvious. And if some people are like, well, it wasn't obvious to me, I'm glad you brought it up, then this is good. This is going to be a good exercise. And for some people who already know this might be practice in how you see some of the relationships and notes that you're playing. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to tackle how notes together as groups could actually be representatives of the chords themselves. All right. So it's going to be easy. It's going to happen fast. And so I'm going to do it a couple times so that you're not just like, well, Joseph only showed me one time or he only did it once. No, I'm going to do it multiple times. I have a cup of coffee. I'm ready to go. I got my marker. Hit the like and subscribe if this is the first time you're watching the channel. And here we go. We're going to talk about these relationships and what I do when I make music, right? So note-chord relationships would be a very simple thing. It's a little more simple as we've already studied what key signatures are, right? In a key, we're going to be in a key signature right now. And say I pick C major. And again, I do this so everybody at home feels like they know what's going on. All right. And so if you want to practice along with me, you are allowed. If you just want to watch and learn, you can do that too. But today we're going to tackle hopefully a concept where you're like, man, he's making this look really easy. And it should be, right? Because when I'm in the key of C major, I wrote out my numbers. They're just my scale degrees. And remember what I've taught you. That 1 and 4 are the same, kind of. They're not. The scales are different, but 1 and 4 are major 7. 5 is a Dom 7. 2 and 3 are just, I consider them minor quadrant, and 6 is your natural minor. So they all have names. 7 is the leading tone, but it's also diminished, right? So, but it leads us to a place. It leads you to 1 or 6, and that's if we were playing chords. So now, when I'm talking about note-chord relationships, I pick one note for the bass line in techno primarily, right? And I'm going to do this one note over the course of 4 bars. So when I count to you guys sometimes on stream and I'm like 2, 2, 3, you know, like I'm thinking in my head where we are in the bar. So when I look at the drum machine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the first chord that we're going to choose is a minor chord, right? And I'm just going to choose one out of the sky. It's going to be the 2 chord. And I'm going to explain that this chord's makeup is D, F, A. And if we did one more, it would be C. That would be like the 7th, if we did like a minor 7th, right? So I picked a chord out of the sky, the 2 chord, right? It is the Dorian scale, if we were going to talk about scales. And now on the bass line track, or what I'm going to make a bass line track, right? I'm going to play a D note. I'm going to play the first note in the chord that I've selected, okay? So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully this is making sense. And I start playing the D. So there's my note. And I'm going to trim down the harmonics, which means we're only going to hear like this low rhythmic part of the D note, right? So it's this low suppressive kind of sound, right? And the F note now, I'm going to choose my next synth, no joke, because we're building the chord out of notes. That's the key here, and they're from different synths. So right now I'm going to pick the F note, which if we were playing those 2 notes, right? So I can play a little bit of D, I can play F. You hear it? So that's us building this chord. I'm going to lower that volume and the drive on that note a little bit. Right, so that's it. So it's just this short little spot. We're playing these 2 now, right? D and F. Now A is the other one that's missing. So I'm going to go to the 3rd track. Right? And this would be D and F. This would be F and A. And this would be A and C. So you can already hear how these are making some kind of fun sonic relationship, right? And we're going to pick a higher frequency here. I'm just going to use sine waves. And hopefully that quantize will fix it. We'll see what happens. Ready? No. So here, I fix it. Yep. So what we did here, right? Hi-hat I'm going to go to now. So I'm going to pick this track. I'm going to make a hi-hat. I'm going to say yes. And already, stop. Okay, so let's talk about what we did here. It happened really fast, right? I used 3 instruments, and I used a couple notes out of the chord, and right now I made a part, right? Right? Super easy, right? And if you mess up, you can always clear, you know, and it's the sine waves I'm going to fix, so I'm going to just try. If I want to give it more harmonics, make it a square, right? And this is why I love the Digitone, because I can make any sound. It's that easy. If you know what you're doing. Okay, so this could be if we were songwriting. This could be if we were making a part in a song. This could be if we were just practicing our key signatures, right? Because now we could actually play our solo over top of this, and this would be a Dorian scale. This would be D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And that's how I'd play the scale over these notes and chords that are kind of making a relationship, right? So super easy, right? I'm not trying to do anything that's fooling anybody, right? And let's see, if we went here, And I did. All right, and I'm going to say clear now. I'm just going to clear the pattern. I'm going to keep the same sounds, the same drum beat, right? And then I'm going to prove this theory again on another chord, right? So we're going to pick E minor. I'm going to pick a 3 chord. Right? And now we're here, and it gives me the roadmap of what I'm going to do when I'm on the 3 chord, right? So let's try that again. So again, this is for simplicity. I'm not trying to fool anyone. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm really trying to show everybody, like, when I start making a groove somewhere before I pick a chord change, which would be a group of chords, sometimes I just kind of let the machines bubble on one chord. You can even make this a song, right? So if I'm going to hold the E down in bass world, right? So let's 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 4. And I'm just gonna play my E. So I did throw another note in for variance, but we're focused on E there. So when I play my next group of notes, the chord, right? Again, everything is going to work together, and we're using notes and chords to build these wonderful relationships in music that sound like they are harmonically connected, right? So right? So now the reason the bass and the chords work so well together is because we're picking those notes that are all within the chord, right? And now I'm on another synth. And this is E to E scale as well. So E, F, G, A, B, C, right? I'm playing, you know. And listen, if I played that scale too. Right, super easy. So now, the idea that any notes that we start playing around each other that are within the chord allow us to understand a sonic relationship, right? I'm picking the easiest key. I'm picking some easy chords. I am not trying to fool anybody here. You can do this with any key. You can do this with any chord. You can do this with anything, like any parameters you want to play with. This can be something that you harness the power of using your ear to learn what these chords actually sound like, and what it sounds like when you interplay with the notes together and the chord to make these relationships that I am playing this mode for sure. I'm playing this note with this chord with these groups of notes, and it's undeniable that they sound really good together, right? Now I'm going to connect those two patterns, and we're going to listen to both, the E1 and the D1, and let's see what happens. So here's the E pattern, pattern 3. And then I'm going to go pattern next. And that's the D pattern, right? I'm going to play it, let it go one more time. And after that, we're going to play the next pattern, which is the E pattern. Ready? And how connected is all the music together? Now, these could be 2 parts now of a song that I'm using as, 16 bars, but I wrote them separately on different patterns. And people tell me, well, the Digitone Mark I can't do more than 64 steps. Well, that's true, but you can kind of elongate that by connecting a lot of patterns together, right? You can fool the box. So this is where I would say with like guitar playing and guitar practicing, or piano playing and piano practicing, or drum machine and drum machine practicing, or synth and synth practicing, the idea that you could do this with a band member where you're like, hey, just play this one chord because I want to practice my mode to make it sound like I'm understanding the chord and the notes that make this relationship, that the chord is such a strong, influential spot in our songs, because the chord is going to call out the notes that the group is about to play or the electronic music is about to delve into, let's call it. Because if you're like, I'm playing an F chord, I'm going to play the F scale, that's Lydian, and then when I play the D chord, I'm going to play the D scale, that's Dorian. And this is a modal behavior technique. But because you're understanding the chords and the notes that are interchanged within the value of the chord, your brain now is going to say, oh my God, I understand more about music. I understand what people are actually doing. We are picking a mode that's within a key. I'm going to pick the third mode, and I'm going to practice. So now I go to my fourth channel that doesn't have a sound on it yet, right? And let's say I put this weird organ, and I'm like, because say you're like, I just want to practice my E Phrygian scale, which is the third scale degree. Anytime you see this number 3, the word Phrygian should jump out of your mouth. And it may take some time to do this, right? But hopefully my channel is inspiring you to do that, and hopefully you can see where we're playing with the note chord relationship, right? All right. Let's do it one more time. Let's pick a different key. Let's say, hey, we know what we're doing, right? And I'm like, okay, again, what are we doing? Note, chord, relationships. That's what today's about, right? So we're like, okay, that's what we're doing today. And I'm going to pick a key, and I'm going to pick B flat, and it's going to be B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. And we know that because of our circle of fifths. Right? And now I'm going to pick the B flat, D, F, A. Right? So my chord is going to be a 1 chord. Now this is really easy again because I do it so much, but when you do this at home, you should start making it like engraved in you that this is what you do every time you make music, because it's just going to help you kind of stay on the same page with yourself. And the idea that you do stay on the same page as you're writing techno and as you're writing pop music and as you're writing jazz, there's a whole method to this when we songwrite. And what I'm starting to try to unfold on the channel and teach everybody is a technique that I use nonstop to make me feel more connected to the music that I make, right? And so I'm going to say this lightly because not everybody feels the same way I do. And other people make music like completely different ways, and that's okay, because that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? And right now, let's say I'm like bored of this beat, so I'm like, so with drums, it's just so nice because to change things, you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. You just change your pattern, right? And so right now I want a little bit of different inspiration. So a little samba style, right? And I'm going to play B flat over this now because I'm kind of interested in I messed up, sorry. Again, that's like an organ that's just playing the B note. And now the next synth, I'm going to do some D. Right, something real easy, right? We're just playing B, flat, D, F, A. We're just playing the chord notes. Actually, I'm just playing these 3, right? Right? So now I'm playing the rest of the chord, but I'm just going to play B, the B note. And these are octaves of B, right? Nothing fancy. Because again, What am I trying to teach you here is the tonality of the chord, the note relationships, and how these two things make you sound like you're kind of together in music, right? This is the whole point of what we're doing. And again, I just tried to show you a completely different key. I changed the beat up a little bit. We did a samba pattern, which is kick, 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 double, kick, double, kick, double. Samba is kind of based on that pattern, and the idea that you kind of can do this with electronic music because drum machines can just hold a pattern for you, and then you can hold a couple notes that are in the first chord that you're playing. Now, we're not talking about chord changes right now, progressions. And I've talked about this in the past, but I'm not talking about that right now because I'm getting your brain kind of familiarized with how some people practice modes. And you can do this by practicing each of your modes by making the chord on different instruments together. And then now you could practice modally B flat to B flat, because this is the Ionian mode. That's what we're playing right now. We're just playing a one chord, and the adjacent scale is just the notes are as follows. You see it right in front of you. And this is the relationship that I want you to kind of drive home today. If you're going to practice your music and you need something to practice, or you're going to try to think inside the box, as I jokingly say, this is where you would do that. Right? So I know it's Sunday, and I know everybody's probably tired and they're going to relax, but if you want to practice music and you want to see what I'm going to work on today, Now I'm going to add my A now, and this is going to make it sound like something brand new, right? It's going to be awesome. Making mistakes sometimes brings that beautiful, right? Look how cool this sounds, right? And this is all based on just goofing around. But we know what notes to play. We know what mode to play. We know what we're doing because we're practicing our note chord relationships. Okay, I'm going to leave for today. I got more stuff to do. I hope today's stream is impactful and really helps you drive home this idea that you can play a chord and practice your mode and practice getting into this musicality of the circle of fifths that I'm trying to teach everybody every day on the stream. So if you like music education and you're trying to take your music a little bit further, or you're just trying to understand how I write music so that you can use it to write your music better, here's a channel for you to kind of check out and to explore your knowledge in modes and to explore your knowledge in the circle of fifths. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. I know I'm going to go out there and do some yard work and get a lot done, and hopefully that's going to be beneficial to my spirit and my soul. And I would say go out there and do something good for yourself, like get educated, learn some music theory, go out and draw something, take a picture, go take a walk. Enjoy your Sunday. And again, thanks for kind of tuning in, listening to my music, and listening to my theory, okay? So everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining in. I'll lead you out with this song. Thanks for stopping by.